Hello and welcome back to Dragon Age Inquisition. So, I have done a codex video between getting here and meeting that strange elf who called me a lord. Well, as he should. So, but I haven't done anything else, so let's have a quick look. I think I leveled up, so what have we got here? Don't care about weapons and shields. Two-handed strength. We can get flow of battle, which every critical hit reduces cooldown times in your abilities. I like it. And that gives me 3 strength on unlock, which answers my question about attributes and how you get them. Critical strikes reduced armor. Okay. Both tempting. Critical strikes leave them enemies weakened. Okay, we're going to go for critical strikes reduce cooldowns, because then we can just spam out these abilities more. Should work out okay. Right. See what we got. Read. Well, we'll read it. Patient observations. Vain hope. Someone better at this than me takes over before the survivor expires. Notes in case. Day 1, clammy, shallow breathing, pulse overfast, not responsive, pupils dilated. Mage says his scarring mark is throbbing with unknown magic. Wish we could station a Templar in here just in case. Okay, special shipments. Acquired great sword. Okay, are these DLC weapons? If they're too good, I'm not going to use them. They're too good, aren't they? This would make me really strong. I mean, they're nice to have, but they're just a little over the top. Yup, we're destroying them. Here's where I find they're not DLC weapons, and I've just destroyed some perfectly good things. I think we found that one. But the heavy armor of the dragon, yeah, it needs to go. Goodbye. Did we have a hat? Gone? That's 3% melee defense. We could put on the scout. No, it doesn't provide it that good a difference. Fire resistance, cowl requirement level 6. Okay. So, what have we got over here? We'll use the search. Perhaps helps if I'm looking all around the room. I think we found everything. So we'll leave this room. Just checking the hallway. No, we've got to go and find Cassandra in the Chantry. We are now the hero because we stopped the breach. Ooh. This is something. We're just gonna come over here. Quick look in this house first. Nothing here. Okay, so are they all here for me? Well, as they should be.
That's him. That's the Herald of Andraste. They said when he came out of the Fade, Andraste herself was watching over him.
Hush. We shouldn't disturb him.
Quite right. Should know their place.
Why did Lady Cassandra have him in charge? I thought Seekers knew everything.
Hello, Segret.
I believe Seeker Cassandra would like to speak with you.
Okay. Guess he's not in a talkative mood. Okay. Got about... Is this praying over here?
He stopped the breach from getting any bigger.
I heard he was supposed to close it entirely. Still, it's more than anyone else has done. Demons would have had us otherwise.
Okay, so they are bowing to me.
Good luck sealing those rifts.
Cassandra in here? No, but a read. Patient observations, day 3, less thrashing, some response to stimulus. Vital seems stalled. 2 attempts so far by locals to break into the chantry to kill my patient. All this work to save his life, and they will just execute him. Will inform Lady Cassandra. I expect him to wait before the warned. Is this me, or is this a different patient? I need to find that out. And it, more importantly, is that a chest full of loot? It looks like a chest full of loot, but it's not really letting me do very much with it. It just looks like loot, it's not actually loot. Okay.
Not taking orders right now. Got a problem with it? Bring it up with Cassandra.
Okay, so these are people, obviously, who we're going to speak. This is probably all locked until we speak to Cassandra, so
Chancellor Roderick says that the Chantry wants nothing to do
in we go.
That isn't Chancellor Roderick's decision, sister.
Oh, it's a bit dark in here. Oh, another thing to read. A chant for the departed. The light shall lead her safely through the paths of this world and into the next. For she who trusts in the Maker, fire is her water. As the moth sees light and goes towards the flame, she should see fire and go towards the light. The veil holds no uncertainty for her, and she shall know no fear of death, for the Maker shall be her beacon and her shield, her foundation and her sword. Transfigurations 10:1, often sung by mourners as they light candles. So, are people mourning? I guess there was a lot of deaths. Is Cassandra down here? Might as well have a look. I'm getting the distinct feeling that I'm not going to find Cassandra down there. Well,
He should be taken to Val Royo immediately, to be tried by whomever becomes divine.
I do not believe he is guilty.
The prisoner failed, Seeker. The breach is still in the sky. For all you know, he intended it this way.
I do not believe that.
That is not for you to decide.
I could just run out that door.
Your duty is to serve the Chantry.
My duty is to serve the principles on which the Chantry was founded, Chancellor, as is yours.
Yeah, the smart move would be to run. But we're gonna go in here.
Chain him! I want him prepared for travel to the capital for trial.
Disregard that and leave us.
You walk a dangerous line, Seeker.
The breach is stable, but it is still a threat. I will not ignore it.
So I'm still a suspect, even after what we just did?
You absolutely are.
No, he is not.
Someone was behind the explosion at the Conclave. Someone most holy did not expect. Perhaps they died with the others, or have allies who yet live.
I am a suspect?
You, and many others.
But not the prisoner.
I heard the voices in the temple. The Divine called to him for help.
So his survival, that thing on his hand, all a coincidence?
Providence. The Maker sent him to us in our darkest hour.
Though all before me is shadow, yet shall the Maker be my guide.
We lost everything then. Out of nowhere, you came.
The breach remains, and your mark is still our only hope of closing it.
This is not for you to decide.
You know what this is, Chancellor. A writ from the Divine, granting us the authority to act. As of this moment, I declare the Inquisition reborn. We will close the breach, we will find those responsible, and we will restore order with or without your approval.
This is the Divine's directive. Rebuild the Inquisition of old. Find those who will stand against the chaos. We aren't ready. We have no leader, no numbers. And now, no Chantry support.
But we have no choice. We must act now, with you at our side.
Okay, so we are kind of placing ourselves forward as the champion and the hero. But we should probably actually know some stuff, so let's have a look. What is the Inquisition?
What is the Inquisition of old, exactly?
It preceded the Chantry. People who banded together to restore order in a world gone mad.
After, they laid down their banner and formed the Templar Order, but the Templars have lost their way. We need those who can do what must be done, united under a single banner once more.
But aren't you still part of the Chantry?
Is that what you see?
The Chantry will take time to find a new Divine. And then it will wait for her direction.
But we cannot wait. So many Grand Clerics died at the Conclave. No, we are on our own. Perhaps forever.
You're trying to start a holy war.
We are already at war. You are already involved. Its mark is upon you. As to whether the war is holy, that depends on what we discover.
Well, I'm not going to say, and if I refuse, because I'm not going to refuse. I want to help.
If you're truly trying to restore order,
That is the plan.
Help us fix this before it's too late.
That looks like Red Cliff, maybe? Here, these are. I think the first one might be in Val Rayo. Another snazzy outfit for me. Okay, so I'm not 100% sure why it starts you inside a tree. I would think I'd be over there in front of the doorway. But alright. What have we got? We got some new armor. Defender coat. Okay. Well, we're fine having that on. We're going to have Templar helmet as the other one. Well, that gives me dexterity. We'll have the Scout's helmet on. Cool. That works out. Right. Let's have a look at our journal. See what we've got. So, expand, we've got Inquisitor's Path. Which threat remains? We have to report to the Chantry. And in Haven we have even in these trying times, good help is not so hard to find. Explore Haven, meet crafting masters, and some items in battle may be worth visiting later. So let's go to the Chantry and then have a look around town. Yeah, we need to get that hat off. Where is it? Gameplay? No. Display. No. Interface. Hide helmet. There it is. What other options for HUD visible? Let's try contextual. See what that looks like. Firm changes. So I assume if I don't touch anything, the HUD will start disappearing. Oh yeah, see we've got our health bar is not there because we don't need it. Like that. Let's go into the Chantry.
Does it trouble you?
I just wish I knew what it was, or how I got it.
We will find out. What's important is that your mark is now stable, as is the breach. You've given us time, and Solas believes a second attempt might succeed, provided the mark has more power. The same level of power used to open the breach in the first place. That is not easy to come by.
Clearly you have something in mind.
We do. You've met Commander Cullen, leader of the Inquisition's forces.
It was only for a moment on the field. I'm pleased you survived.
This is Lady Josephine Montelier, our ambassador and chief diplomat.
I've heard much. It's a pleasure to meet you at last.
And of course, you know Sister Liliana.
My position here involves a degree of...
She is our spy master.
Yes, tactfully put, Cassandra.
Pleased to meet you all.
I mentioned that your mark needs more power to close the breach for good.
Which means we must approach the rebel mages for help.
And I still disagree. The Templars could serve just as well.
We need power, Commander. Enough magic poured into that mark.
Might destroy us all. Templars could suppress the breach, weaken it, so...
Pure speculation.
I was a Templar. I know what they're capable of.
Unfortunately, neither group will even speak to us yet. The Chantry has denounced the Inquisition, and you specifically.
They still think I'm guilty.
That is not the entirety of it any longer. Some are calling you the Herald of Andraste, and that frightens the Chantry. The remaining clerics have declared it blasphemy, and we, heretics, for harboring you.
Chancellor Roderick's doing, no doubt.
It limits our options. Approaching the mages or Templars for help is currently out of the question.
Just how am I the Herald of Andraste?
People saw what you did at the temple, how you stopped the breach from growing. They have also heard about the woman seen in the rift when we first found you. They believe that was Andraste,
Even if we tried to stop that view from spreading.
which we have not.
The point is, everyone is talking about you.
It's quite the title, isn't it? How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I quite like having everybody looking up to me. That's kind of the position that I'm wanting. I want everyone to rally behind me for the good of everyone. So, I like it.
I don't mind it at all.
People are desperate for a sign of hope. For some, you're that sign.
And to others, a symbol of everything that's gone wrong.
They aren't more concerned about the breach, the real threat.
They do know it's a threat, they just don't think we can stop it.
The Chantry is telling everyone you'll make it worse.
There is something you can do. A Chantry cleric by the name of Mother Giselle has asked to speak to you. She is not far and knows those involved far better than I. Her assistance could be invaluable.
Why would someone from the Chantry help a declared heretic?
I understand she's a reasonable thought. Perhaps she does not agree with her sisters. You will find Mother Giselle tending to the wounded in the hinterlands near Redcliffe.
Look for other opportunities to expand the Inquisition's influence while you're there.
We need agents to extend our reach beyond this valley, and you're better suited than anyone to recruit them.
In the meantime, let's think of other options. I won't leave this all to the Herald.
Operations. The war table allows you to apply the power of the Inquisition throughout Orlais and Ferelden. Mother Giselle is in the hinterlands, which can be found on the Ferelden side of the table. Okay. What are Inquisition perks? Okay. In the perks menu, you can select perks that provide unique bonuses to your party. The number of available perks.
spoken to you about my new recruits?
They are not your recruits, Commander. They're ours.
Okay, for all that. War table. The Inquisition can unlock new areas for you to explore through scouting operations. Perform scouting operations for the hinterlands on the Ferelden side of the war table now. Mother Giselle was last seen in the hinterlands outside Redcliffe, tending refugees who fled the fighting between the renegade Templars and apostate mages. The latest report suggests that the vicious struggle between the two groups has spread to the hinterlands, catching the refugees and Mother Giselle in the middle. It is vital to protect her and also, if possible, to restore order to the area. So, do it. We avoided the fighting as best we could. It's every bit as bad as we feared. The apostates are mad, attacking anything that moves, and it appears the Templars here aren't following anyone's orders any longer. We located Mother Giselle and are attempting to protect her, but she refuses to leave the refugees until we've ensured their safety. That will be hard to do without troops to push the apostates and the Templars out of the area. Commander Cullen asked me to make inquiries of Master Dennett, a retired horseman of Redcliffe who lives in the area. We tried to contact him about obtaining better horses for the Inquisition, but we've been unable to get through the fighting. Lead Scout Harding. No, we don't want to go there just now. We now have access to missions. Mission operations take time and bring the Inquisition resources and rewards. Only one mission per advisor can be active at a time. Some missions have a preferred type, which results in less time required when undertaken by the associated advisor. Missions will always provide different rewards depending on which advisor completes them. Okay, so we can send them to do things like gather coin. Okay. So if I click gather coin, up till now the Inquisition's forces have had the benefit of the Chantry's deep coffers. Now the Inquisition is forced to seek out its own sources of revenue if it was going to grow further. Trade in and out of Haven is limited at this point, but there are various opportunities to earn coin provided the Inquisition is willing to focus its efforts on the matter. So if I put Josephine on it, it will take less time. So
Let us begin.
I'll put her on that. Address the nobleman's concerns. Herald, your Inquisition says it's for order against chaos, reason and darkness. If you stand by this, come forth and drive the heretics from a land they claim to be refugees, and I've seen elves and apostates among them, filthy savages, tearing at our roots. Our monarch refuses to send forth armies, and our knights were decimated at the conclave. I request your aid to protect my lands. Prove your loyalty, and I'll see you richly rewarded for your faith. Praise the light, Lord Kildren of Ferelden. So that will take 20 minutes. It would take 20 minutes for anyone. We'll send Cullen.
All right.
I'm assuming that you just want to have these going, so. Hard and Hightown 3. Ruffles, I need a favour. Actually, let's call it a loan, since I'll pay it back. I've got a little letter from my editor in Kirkwall today. She tells me that Hard and Hightown 3, the re-functioning, appeared in print from an Antivian printer a couple of weeks ago. I'll give you a moment to contemplate the horror that is the title. I had my contacts in the Merchants Guild look for the author a couple of years back. The best they could find after spending a couple hundred gold was that the Prial Bellenforth is a pen name. I could have told them that for free. You've got contacts with the Antivian prince houses. Perhaps you can find out more than the guild. Varric. So we'll just send Liliana to do that. Right. Cool. We've done a few of those. They'll go off and do their stuff. Okay. Wow, we got a lot of codexes. World travel. You can travel using M to go to this, to go to world map. Yep, I think I can see how you do that. Journal. What's this one? The Fallowmire. Inquisition soldiers, Sun for. Okay. Don't remember seeing either of those on the list, but I guess they're just things that we get. Haven. Gotta do that. Inquisition's Path. Okay. So let's have a look around. Summon War Council. Don't need to do that just yet. We're gonna go and have a talk with whoever's in here.
The Inquisition cannot remain, Ambassador, if you can't prove it was founded on Justinian's orders.
This is an inopportune time, Marquis. More of the faithful flock here each day. But allow me to introduce you to the brave soul who risked his life to slow the magic of the breach. Sir Trevelyan, may I present the Marquis d'Aurelion, one of Divine Justinia's greatest supporters.
And the rightful owner of Haven. House d'Aurelion lent Justinia these lands for pilgrimage. This Inquisition is not a beneficiary of this arrangement.
This is the first I've heard of Haven having an owner outside the Chantry.
My wife, Lady Machin of Denerim, has claimed to Haven by ancient treaty with the monarchs of Ferelden. We were honored to lend its use to Divine Justinia. She was a woman of supreme merit. I will not let an upstart order remain on her holy grounds.
Yeah. Don't know quite how to handle this here. I mean, we could say the followers need shelter, and he might say it's not his problem. We say the visors founded it, but it's true, but it's not really in the spirit of things. Or we all have bigger problems. Try and get them to focus on, like, we'll try and get them focused on the big picture here.
Demons are pouring from the sky, and you're worried about land claims.
Haven is the Durelion's rightful property.
Has Empress Selene officially acknowledged your possession of Haven? I was unaware Her Imperial Majesty had conferred with Ferelden's monarchs on this matter.
The Empress has not yet had the opportunity to do so.
We face a dark time, Your Grace. Divine Justinia would not want her passing to divide us. She would, in fact, trust us to forge new alliances to the benefit of all, no matter how strange they might seem.
I'll think on it, Lady Montilyet. The Inquisition might stay in the meanwhile.
Do the Durelions actually have a claim on this place?
His Grace's position is not so strong as he presents it. Despite their Ferelden relations, the Durelions are our legion. If the Marquis wishes to claim Haven, Empress Selene must negotiate with the Ferelden on his behalf. Her current concerns are a bit larger than minor property disputes.
I'm so pleased the Marquis isn't tossing us out into the cold.
His Grace is only the first of many dignitaries we must contend with.
You expect more people in Haven?
Undoubtedly. And each visitor will spread the story of the Inquisition after they depart. An ambassador should ensure the tale is as complimentary as possible.
May I ask what brought you to work for the Inquisition?
Sister Leliana approached me. We've been acquainted for quite some time. For better or worse, being the Inquisition's diplomat has become as interesting as she promised.
What sort of dealings have you had with nobility?
For some years, I was the royally appointed court ambassador from Antiva to Orlais. The nobility of Thedas is a rather singular sphere. Those I'm not acquainted with, I know through reputation.
So yeah. Saying glad she's here, trying to get morale up a little bit.
The Inquisition is lucky to have you as an advocate, Lady Montilyet.
Thank you. Let us hope so. Thedas' politics have become agitated as of late. I hope to guide us down smoother paths. But please excuse me. I've much work to do before the day is done.
Okay, that was interesting. Some books to read. Children of Andraste. There are many misconceptions regarding Andraste's bloodline, Monsieur. This is due, I should think, to a general lack of knowledge regarding Andraste's mortal life. Understandable, considering the many cults that arose following her death. Everyone sought to claim Our Lady for their own culture, or claim some aspect of her existence was a lie. All of them complete fabrications. My order has done considerable research to discern the truth. We all know Andraste and the Betrayer raised 5 children. The eldest 3 were sons, Isorath, Averon, and Velrod. The rule of what was once son to Vinter was split amongst them. Isorath was given the west, what was today's Orlais. Averon was given the east, what is today the Free Marches. Velrod was given the central Planocene, which is today Nevara. What became of these men and their legacies is the stuff of legend, and the majority of claimants to Andraste's bloodline link back to one of them. None of the 3 sons, however, were born of Andraste. They were born of the Betrayer's concubine, Gillivan. People choose to overlook the fact that Andraste came from the Almeri tribesmen that they were barbarians, not the Fereldans we know today. They were savage warriors who took concubines in addition to their wives. And because Andraste was thought to be too weak to bear children, the Betrayer took Gillivan to provide him heirs, which he did. After her death, the sons were raised as Andraste's own. Later in life, Andraste proved predictions wrong and had 2 daughters by the Betrayer, Abris and Viviel, and they were kept out of the public eye and not permitted to marry, though both had consorts. Ibris had but one child, Ali Vimir, who perished on a voyage to Denram less than a month after her mother fell to the plague, and without children of her own. The youngest daughter, Viviel, was more controversial. A strong-headed woman who defied her family by falling in love with a mage of Tevinter, Regulan. Viviel and Regulan went into self-imposed exile as the exiled march began, and into hiding following Andraste's betrayal and murder. What became of Viviel and her descendants is largely unknown, as one of the primary reasons she had only daughters. Each of those daughters only had daughters. They married into other families and took other names, and in the chaos of the Second Blight, all traces of the survivors are lost. Andraste's true bloodline, if it exists, lies solely in the descendants of Viviel, and the suspicion of my order is that it produces only daughters. Thus the claims of your young man Monsieur are highly suspect. From a letter by Sister Galliana of the Augustan Order, Dragon 912. So I can turn in my research here to get stuff on enemies, and that must be the person who would do it.
Thank you.
So, Dreamrags, can I talk to her?
You're the Herald. Or, the one they're calling the Herald, anyway. I hope the Inquisition can restore order soon. I never really wanted to leave the Circle. My name is Maeve. I research demons and other creatures. Seeker, Pentagast, and I use what I find to help the soldiers fight them.
I found something the demons left behind. Can you use it?
Yes, that's very helpful. Just leave it there and the Tranquil and I will examine it.
Okay.
You've brought back some fascinating things. We're putting them to good use.
You said you were a mage.
No, just an apprentice. I was never very good at magic. I've got just enough talent to be a danger to other people. But when the mages rebelled, people like me had nowhere to go. The Templars would have killed us. Luckily, Seeker Pentagast took me in, along with the Tranquil I was protecting.
So protecting the Tranquil? Interesting.
I'm surprised that even an apprentice mage wouldn't join the rebellion.
I don't like using magic to fight. I'm not good at it either. I liked studying. I liked performing rituals that helped us unlock the secrets of the Veil. I liked having the Templars around to keep us safe.
Mages need protection. I wish more of them could see that.
I was born into a Dalish clan. I lived there until my magic manifested. The Dalish cannot risk having too many mages in one clan. And I was one more than they could bear. They gave me a pack and sent me into the woods to find my own life. I was 7 years old.
No wonder you'd rather stay in the Circle. You had more than enough life outdoors.
I stumbled into a village, starving and cold, a few weeks later. I started using magic to scare predators away. The villagers saw me make fire in my fist. They were terrified and wanted to kill me. Templars saved me from them. They gave me food and clothes and took me to the Circle. I've seen what life is like without the Templars, and I want no part of it. I just want to study.
You said that you were keeping the Tranquil safe.
Yes. The mages took some of them when my Circle rebelled, but the rest were forgotten. Most Circle mages look down on the Tranquil, or try to pretend they don't exist. They don't have any emotions. They can barely take care of themselves. Can't defend themselves at all. It's a shame. I like them better than most people.
Oh, that was loud. Achievement unlocked. Okay.
I'm glad they have someone who cares about them.
They deserve better. They're polite, they're rational, and they'll never get angry at you. When they study, they have a focus no normal person could ever match. But the Templars, even some of the mages, mistreated them just because they could. The Tranquil never fought back. If not for that, I don't know. Doesn't really matter now.
I'll speak with you later.
Thank you again for what you've brought back.
Okay, so we've got a bit of the keep to explore. Liliana reported back in, so we might go and see what that actually gets us. I suspect it's just gold, but worth having a look. So, if you enjoyed the video, please tune in for the next one. See you then. Goodbye.